Uh, I'm doing something a little bit out of the norm tonight. First off, the first norm is I'm standing up and doing a video. I need to start doing this anyway because I have a conference in April and also a conference, I believe, in March. So, anyway, folks, what I want to talk about tonight is values and how values can make an impact on your life. I was thinking this evening, and when I was thinking about this, I thought, what what was important about values is almost like boundaries. And I was talking to a few people today. I was talking to my daughter about, and I shouldn't laugh about it, but about how she procrastinates on things and was on her phone all day, and how she puts her values on certain things in life is not necessarily the best thing for her being a senior in high school. Like I said, I'm not going to be the one to say to somebody and yell and scream and say, this is not the right thing to do. Because honestly, people, I make mistakes, and I've always made mistakes throughout my own life. Because the reason I wanted to be a psychologist is not necessarily the best thing that uh, maybe for my kids because or my ex-wife or because as her saying is okay, Mr. Psychologist, or as some of my friends say, they and I have people stop. I have three people in the last 4 days and say, tell me, what would Boyd do in this situation, which in a way is very impressive, and I'm very grateful people are seeing this and talk about this. But on the other hand, I think what's important here is of my values on things in life, what I feel is important. But that does not necessarily mean to somebody what is important to them. Values are very subjective. For instance, I value right now high education. My father, Otis Lee Miller, God rest his soul, valued education. And once I finish my PhD, three out of his five sons will have PhDs. But the fact is, the matter is my father valued education. That may not necessarily be the case for some other family, but that was a value that was very hold true to my father. The other value that my father would always say is it drove him crazy because I always had the initiative and the power as well as the smarts to do what I needed to do education wise. I just never followed through. And that's a big issue as part of values is you have to always follow through and be persistent in doing things because the value you put on something takes dedication, follow through, and work. And that's the big issue. I was talking to a few people in the last 4 or 5 days is my values right now is to finish my PhD, get a psychology job. Now, I can look at my past and go all the way back to my past. And like my one daughter said today, but Dad, you were in the Catholic seminary at one time. And I said, very true. But I did not feel that was a calling of mine. But if I would have spent the time and energy, which I did not, because I didn't put the value at that time into my decision. I just wanted to do an existence in life because there again, my value was different, and I'm sure it drove both my parents stir crazy. Because the fact of the matter is, though my brothers and I've always said this, I always thought were smarter than me. If I just worked as hard as they did, I can achieve the goals I wanted to achieve. With this said, I want to say to this values are like boundaries as well. You have to put that boundary as saying, I'm stopping right here. I'm not going to go I'm going to achieve what I need to achieve because I'm not willing I'm going to stop. I'm not going to go past that line because that's that boundary. In other words, I need to achieve this, put the TV aside, the phone aside, and get this done. There again, The case in point, my daughter today. She didn't value what she needed to do because it wasn't important. I can't change that. The only thing that can occur with that is it's all what is the old cliche, a lesson learned. Just to have a parent or an individual to get upset and yell about it is not, it's not going to solve anything. The issue, and it's still the issue to me today, is concerning the value. What is an important value with this? And once you said this is an important value, for instance, like I said, my value right now is finish writing my chapter 4, chapter 5, finish this journal article that my committee is looking at, especially my committee chair, and thank God she is, because otherwise, it would be a mess without her help and guidance. Because it is a value that I know that needs to be accomplished. But also that value is I have to do work to achieve the values because I want to get my license going for psychology. So with that said, folks, I want you to always keep in mind what your values are. And once you figure out the value, what are those boundaries on those values? What are you going to compromise? And like I said, some people have zero boundaries. For instance, my brother, who's a dentist, he had set into his mind, and God love him, and he's a big inspiration in my life all the time, that his values are important with studying, and he was able to accomplish his goal as a dentist. I, on the other hand, when I was in high school and in and then went on to junior college, I was more carefree about my values. So, with that said, that is where the key in life is setting those values, and putting forth what those boundaries are to achieve those goals. And with that said, this will help you lead a more positive life. And remember, folks, you can't look at what you did in the past, can't do anything about the future. You can only set those values and those boundaries currently right now. Anyway, with that said, I wanted to say thank you for watching my video. I hope you all had a very happy Thanksgiving, and I will talk to you real soon. Peace.